After nearly 40 years away, Formula 1 returns to Zandvoort, a circuit unlike any other with banking in turns 3 and turns 12 and 13, rivaling that of oval circuits in the United States. Being here, the capacity crowd will be expecting of a Max Verstappen victory, with every single person in the crowd expecting nothing less from the Dutchman. As ever, there's 19 other drivers and 9 other teams on the grid, and Williams were an early surprise package in practice 1. The FW43 working very well through the banking. Nico Hulkenberg was very confident of scoring a few points on race day. Renault, though, spent most of the session like everyone else did, learning different lines, as the banking allows for multiple different lines, especially through turn 3. There was a wide line, a medium line and a low line, and no team yet really has any definition of what lines to take. However, Lewis Hamilton wouldn't get to experience any lines throughout practice, as he was once again experiencing multiple technical issues, and third practice for the Brit ending before he'd even begun after only 2 laps. Max Verstappen, though, was pleasing the home crowd, the Dutchman top 3 in all 3 practice sessions, and was looking a clear favourite to take pole and go on to maybe even win and get his first win, and Red Bull looking to get back on track in the early stage now of this season. However, there was also a change over Aston Martin, as Lance Stroll tested positive for COVID and has been replaced this weekend by Aston Martin and Mercedes' third driver Pascal Wehrlein, makes his first race start since Brazil 2018. Hey guys, Renault here, welcome back to Formula 1. Here for round 5 of the 2021 season. Lining up here now, and we've got Mick Schumacher there in P6, so it's McLaren, the best it's going to be now, because it's only going to start to go backwards as the season goes on. We're not being able to upgrade that car. We're back here in Zandvoort, where all drivers, apart from 1 or 2, have raced here in some category. Importantly for us, we've never raced here, and neither has Alonso. So it's going to be a level playing field for both of us. Nico Hulkenberg, P15, disappointing there. Williams was looking a little bit faster than that throughout practice, but of course when everyone ramps it up coming into qualifying, the pace does sort of even itself out a little bit. Now taking a look though at the starting grid, it's Kevin Magnussen who comes out of nowhere to take pole position, and the 3 points to go with it, with Max Verstappen completing the front row, Alonso taking a point for starting third. Norris starts to lead McLaren from P4 ahead of the other Red Bull of Alex Albon, so Red Bull's looking to finally get going in the season now. Started a bit slow, but they're ramping up now, as we saw Mick Schumacher starts from P6. Sergio Sette Camara with a good lap in the AlphaTauri starts in 7th ahead of Josh Tiro in 8th. Despite his problems throughout practice, Lewis Hamilton starts lead of the Toyotas, but only from P9, with Esteban Ocon running off the top 10. And we have Mats Cheetah and Pierre Gasly on row 6, starting on medium tyres, ahead then of the Mercedes pairing of Kvyat and Russell. Hulkenberg starts P15 in the Williams, with Sergio Perez 16th in the Aston Martin, and the Latifi 17th on the medium tyres. Rio Haryanto starts 18th as the leader of the Ferraris, with Pascal Wehrlein on his return to Formula 1, starting from P19, with Charles Leclerc bringing up the rear after not setting a lap in first qualifying due to an MGU-K issue with his Ferrari. And through the banking, there is such steep banking here, almost 20 degrees of banking from the top to the bottom. You don't really notice it as much actually as on the camera to what it actually is in real life. And starting here from P8, it's okay. Our teammate's got a lot more pace though. K-Mag, he was on something completely different in qualifying. The only thing that was similar was our tyres really. Now coming to the 5 red lights for the start of the Dutch Grand Prix. It's a long hold, but now lights out, and away we go. There's a good start there for our teammate Kevin Magnussen on the run down to turn 1 in the outside line. And he gets a good start there as Verstappen there, a little bit bogged down here. It's 3 wide just behind K-Mag now on the run through turn 1. You got Alonso there trying to hold it around the outside line, trying to go now into P2. You can side by side, ready to go one of the McLaren's there. Norris trying to squeeze his way through there as well. Now we're going to start with one of the Toyotas there. Lewis Hamilton can try and go the long way around, use the banking here around the outside line, and try and slingshot there around the AlphaTauri as well. He wants to keep his side by side there with them, but we lose that little bit of the grass. And now we've got Hamilton outside, so he managed to make the mistake and forces his way through that on the inside line. He's gone through this really twisty part of the first half. Now we've got Ocon trying to go around the outside line. There's no way through there, he can get side by side. No, I don't think there's actually any way he can start, but he's still got Cheeky there around the outside line, still trying to keep it through. He's now his teammates now up into second place, Ocon. So he's been shown up a little bit at the start of the season, taking a little bit longer to get used to that Renault car as what his teammate Alonso has. Maybe suiting the characteristics of last year's car a little bit more than this new nose design, because Renault's still going to be learning that new concept along with the other things that have gone towards a thinner nose for this year. So no, into the first set of this lap, it's really short. It's only about a minute 10, well in qualifying, it's about a minute 10. Then we've got Ocon there, all this time we're all over the curbing now. Not getting the heat of these sides now. Ocon's made the move stick. Trying to get around the outside line through the banking section now. Could be being slushy in this car so fast in a straight line with that good Ferrari engine. And again, the Renault's no slouch this year either. Now we've got the DRS there on the back of S1 going on the run now down into turn 1. He tries to try and make a dive back in the inside line, or the outside line here. He's also moved to try and make it around the outside line. We can do that, try and slingshot our way around the outside line of S1. We find the grip around the outside line now side by side with the Frenchman once again now through turn 1A into turn 2. And we're making a pinch in their TDK pace. We made the move stick. There's so many lines around this circuit. Even with 3 practice sessions, no one's really got an official line of where to go. The banking does allow for so many different lines to take. And now then onto lap 6. We're back up to where we started in P8. We've got Sergio Seti Camara now trying to go in the outside line there. Oh, the Brazilian trying to do what we did to Ocon back in turn 1 on the second lap of the race. So we've got yellow flags further behind, so we've got green flags for now yellow flags for us. So we kind of actually overtaking through here now. We have to keep a good line through now. Back into green flags, so something's gone wrong for someone further behind. Not quite sure who that is yet. No safety car yet, so maybe someone's just got a puncture or something around a little bit wide. There's massive sheeters out of the Grand Prix. The safety car now deployed. The Toyotas once again having issues, actually retiring from the race. Hamilton, he hardly got any practice in due to having the electrical issue, but now for once he's actually hit Matsushita harder than Hamilton, and Nobu's now out of the Dutch Grand Prix. Now they're looking at a replay. Wow, and he's already down at the back, so his issues have been going very wrong for him. He started alongside PK. He started on the medium tyres, so I don't know what's going on here. Is he still stuck there behind him? There's the engine failure. The engine's blown there on the Toyota. The Toyota engine has been struggling a lot. I mean, they've been pushing to the limits of the engine. Toyota, especially with the WC program, pushing the limits with the hybrid technology. But have they just been pushing it a little bit too far this year? And Matsushita out of the race on only the 7th lap. Now then, as that lap, this is back now to the live action. Kevin Magnussen is going to stay out now to lead the race. Going to pick up the safety car. But we've got cars coming in behind. We've got split strategies now. We've got Alonso there coming in and bringing in Norris. And I couldn't quite see who else behind. Someone else there coming in as well. Now what tyres are they going to go on to? They're going to another set of the soft tyres in that is. So going for a 2-stop here at Renault. I think McLaren there have done the same. I'm guessing the other team have done the same with their car as well. We've got some other cars down in the pace. I think it's the Red Bull. So everyone going for a 2-stop. So tyre wear might be an issue. I mean, this track is basically just all corners. So tyre wear could be an issue. We've got the Mercedes there. Some of these other cars going for track position now, trying to stay out. And the Mercedes just jumps in front of another team that will be supplying engines to next year, along with Aston Martin. So going to be a little bit of internal bragging rights going on here. But up front, it's still Kevin Magnussen now that leads the way, having not stopped. So it's going to be all the ones who haven't stopped now that lead the way. And we're up to second place. It's an Alfa Romeo 1-2, because we haven't appeared yet either, going for the track position, along with the sole remaining Toyota of Lewis Hamilton. So it's 3 black cars that lead the way. Then we've got the lead of the Alpha Towers now with Pierre Gasly, of course, starting on medium tyres. He's not going to be pitting for a while yet. Then we've got the Mercedes of Danny Kvyat ahead then of one of the Renault cars of actually Fernando Alonso. So Alonso's not actually dropped too far down the order, because of course everyone apart from 5 or 6 cars of us have actually made a pit stop. So it's worked out pretty good there for the Spaniard. You know, he's leading a Mercedes sandwich because you've got the other one of George Russell there just behind. And then you've got the other McLaren of Mick Schumacher now in the mid-pack. And despite everyone pitting, the safety car hasn't really mixed things up all too much. And you've got the 2 Williams now find themselves together. You see if you're there on the medium tyres, of course, and having not made a pit stop yet. And you've got the Red Bulls there down the order now, way down the order in fact. They must have got hold up there in the pit box, so it all depends where your pit box is. And then we've got one of the Aston Martins now, with actually Pascal Wehrlein managed to actually gain a few places out of that. Head there, one of the Ferraris, and then we have the other AlphaTauri now, Sergio Seti Camara. So a few drivers have pitted and gone on to medium tyres, so a whole range of strategies. It's a new track for everyone, and there's new lines for everyone to still yet this massive unknown in this race so far. We'll come back now to green flag running though. As we come back now to the green flag running, and apologies again, the commentary is not really exactly on the lineup because once again Bandicam is just deciding it just can't deal with this. So I'm trying to do it best I can, trying to look a little bit at the time and the race that's going on. Now then, back to green flag running, K-Max is going to lead us all the way down into turn 1. Now we've got a run on our teammate, K-Max is going down into turn 1, going to stay behind him there because K-Max has got so much more pace. And at this point, honestly, we'd just be holding him up. So there's no point trying to make a move on our teammates to stick there behind him. And just try and be a bit of a blockade to the cars behind. But we have got midfield cars behind us, the Mercedes and that, so, and the Williams as well. So we've got a little bit of a blockade now to Alonso. The K-Max now already pulling away convincingly out. So I don't know what he's found with the setup. But of course, being teammates, we do share data, but our setups are going to be inherently different. I know now we've got House there all over the back of us, so despite Hamilton's issues, the Toyota car looking pretty planted, if not reliable so far in this Grand Prix, as K-Max already put about a second lead already. He's been absolutely honest. I don't know if he's got a load of extra fuel in the car. And again, we have to find out in the team debrief after the race what differences, if any, there actually are between our 2 cars. That came there, it's leaving us for dust already. We haven't actually put out a little bit of a gap there for Hamilton, so it's pretty much equidistant between ourselves, Hamilton, You've got Gasly, then the Mercedes coming out under pressure. Kvyat now coming under massive pressure then from Fernando Alonso, the man who he replaced at Mercedes when Alonso made his first retirement at the end of the 2018 season. But Alonso now back here with Renault, and back in a very, very competitive Renault car as well, on fresh tyres compared to that Mercedes as well, so he's got all the advantages that he needs. Alonso now with the station, of course, no DRS that won't be activated yet for the next 2 laps of the race. Alonso going now into the outside line of Kvyat into turn 1, trying to go the long way around the outside line, do what we did to Ocon earlier on in the Grand Prix, trying to stick it around the outside line, did it drives clean around the outside line of the Russian, but behind that Russell just managed to hold off from his good friend Lando Norris in the McLaren. Let's do the banking once again. Everything seems to be taking the lower line, so as the race goes on, it seems general consensus seems to be that the lower line is probably the way to go. Now on to lap 11, and came out 2 seconds up the road, so he's pulled away and got fastest lap. He's not pulled away too much, so he is definitely faster, but he's not like he's just leaving us lap after lap, seconds for seconds. And we're pretty much in the middle now. We've got just under 2 seconds ahead of Hamilton now. As he comes out through the banking now, and now we've got a teammate carrying Mouse now, comes into the pit, so he didn't pit earlier on, he's coming in now. So different strategy here from Alfa Romeo. We've got one of the main thing that maybe a Hamilton there coming in as well, couldn't quite tell from that camera angle. It's going to be set a hard side, so Alfa Romeo is sticking with the one-stop strategy, which if it wasn't for the safety car, would have been the way to go. Coming in on now about lap 10, 11, 12, going to set a hard tyres to go to the end of the Grand Prix, so you definitely have that durability there with the tyres. And it is indeed Hamilton who's also going on to set a hard tyres then to go to the end of the race. And so we've got others, everyone who came in is going for a 2-star strategy. So they're going to try and go into a set of medium tyres later in the race, so they're going to have a lot of pace, but they do have to make another pit stop, so now it's us that leads the way, which is how the first laps went. Not something I saw happening at any point during this Grand Prix, but how much longer are we going to lead for? Because now we've got Gasly there in second place, ahead just about staying ahead of Fernando Alonso. He's going to have a clear run at the Frenchman now into the final sector now, coming into the chicane, into the hairpin. So some very unique corner sequences here. Honestly, this is a really nice circuit, really old school as well. There's a gravel tracks right in the circuit, so there's absolutely nowhere to go if you make a mistake. You're going straight into the gravel, straight into the wall, and you're actually punished for mistakes, unlike you are back at most circuits now. But 1 lap later, we're going to come into the pits now, we're going to relinquish the lead to Pierre Gasly, which is actually going to go to Fernando Alonso fairly soon as well, it looks like. And also there side by side with Pierre Gasly into turn 1, and I'd imagine you make the move stick there around the outside line of the Frenchman. And then from the traffic light camera, actually nice camera there, just above the car. They managed to get a clean pit stop there. Now, whereabouts is K-Mag going to be in relation to us? Now, because we want to say our hard tyres, we're going to the end of the race as well. Once again, Alfa Romeo sticking to the strategy here with both cars. So our strategy is believing that this is definitely the way to go. We're going to rejoin track-wise just behind our teammate K-Mag, who's now stuck right in the traffic. So this might be where strategy comes undone, because everyone here on soft tyres, they only did a few laps before, so they might be struggling now, because we're into P12, so a few other cars have made softs as well. So everyone else who didn't stop earlier on, imagine Gary and Latifi might still be out on track. And now they've got a team of K-Max now, got right behind the back there of the Aston Martin Sergio Perez. Now trying the Pink Panther car, holding up both of those Alfa Romeos now. K-Max going to pull to the inside line of Sergio Perez, going to breeze past him there with the DRS as well, and the fresher tyres on the run down into turn 1. And now we're going to sandwich the Pink car, and we can try to get around the outside line. We can't afford to get hold of here by Sergio Perez in the much slower Aston Martin. Definitely taking a step backwards from last year. Once again, they have had to design their own car for this year, even if it does kind of look like the Mercedes from last year. Their chassis and that is Aston Martin's first attempt at building a car, really. So pretty well sure they built. For what they've had to work with, they've still got a good chassis still got a good platform to build on with the new regulations coming in a few years' time. And in front of us, then we've got Max Verstappen there, and actually Alex Albon. Going to come quite off that camera. We've got Albon there as the next car in front, but now a few laps further on, we've caught up now. We're back into P6 as everyone else has cycled through. So we're all going to the end of the Grand Prix. Sete Kamara and everyone else on medium tyres is not going to the end. So Norris behind us, Sete Kamara in front of us has to pit again. Yet at some point in this Grand Prix. Now we're getting here on the back of the Brazilian controller for a move to the inside line there, but we're not quite close there to make a move to the inside line. I think we're running out wide there, all over the curve. So it's kind of like a Mario Kart. In a way, I see this as like a Mario Kart track kind of layout. Now we've got Norris behind us on the medium tyres, and the McLaren on the Alpha. The McLaren is still a good car. And I can't knock it. So it's much improved from last year, despite using the same cars before. Again, you're going to get a little bit of a massive weave there. Don't really know what happened there. Trying a little behind, got a little bit of instability there with the DRS, as he would do because the DRS actually takes a lot of damage off the back of the car. So honestly, they're lucky to not actually spin the car out. So it's an engine failure. Came out with a massive engine failure. It's looking so good for him. There's so much good pace in this race. Possibly on to win it, if not, definitely a podium, second place. It will be interesting with Alonso, but he's out of the Grand Prix. That's 2 engine failures now in this Grand Prix. So maybe this circuit is going to get a reputation.
Oh, I can't believe it, guys. I feel so sorry for you guys. Fucking shit. We did. Yeah. We tried our best. Keep it up, guys. You're doing good.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kevin, and same. You drove brilliantly, okay? So we're just going to keep this momentum. We have a little momentum, okay? You raced well at this place. So let's take it to the next one, and we'll get the points list here and some more.
As I was going to say, maybe this circuit is now going to get a bit of a reputation for an engine killer, but now we're now flying the flag solely for Alfa Romeo in this Grand Prix. And it's Fernando Alonso leading the way convincingly now as Pierre Gasly's going to come into the pits now. So Gasly yet to actually make his stop yet in this race. So Gasly coming in very late for his stop. What was that, Seti Kamara? Couldn't quite tell if that camera goes. We're back up into second place either way, so I'm guessing it was Seti Kamara. And then you've got P3, you've got one of the rebels here behind us of Max Verstappen. The home favourite now into the podium places. The Dutch crowd are going to be loving that. But talking of orange, you've got a McLaren there running behind him, Lando Norris. Haven't seen much of him yet in this Grand Prix, but he's starting to come back into it now. And then behind them we have the other AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. So Gasly's definitely going to the end. That's Gasly there on the medium tyres. And then we have his teammates who actually come out ahead, so I don't know what's happened there. And then we have the sole remaining Toyota then of Lewis Hamilton in a bit of a gap to the car behind. The car behind though is definitely going to be gaining there. We've got Mick Schumacher there on the medium tyres, then of the Mercedes of Danny Kvyat. So Mercedes, they're going to be quietly confident about getting some points from this race ahead. Then of Alex Albon and the second of the Rebels. Who is he going to get? What tyres is he on? No, he's on the medium set of tyres. I think everyone on the mediums, I think, still has to stop here. I definitely don't think they're going to make their second stops yet. Now they've got Alex Albon here right down the back of the Mercedes. Albon, he had a good qualifying, but the race hasn't worked out for the tyre driver all too well so far. But now then, through the final course now here's to the bank again. Good view here of how steep this banking is. He's going to stick there to the inside line, and they come up to the wall there on corner exit. Now Albon with the DRS, and of course some extra Honda power as well coming into turn. Where's he close to make a move on Danny Kvyat? Not quite. He's going to try for a slingshot there, ran the outside line. No. So some good showing on speed in that Mercedes, even if the aero chassis is a little bit weak on that car. And then we've got Esteban Ocon quite a way down the order once again. Just like Albon, he qualified okay, but the race really isn't working out for him all too well. And then you have the Lee Williams there of Nico Hulkenberg and then of Sergio Seti Kamara, who's come out some way down the order after making his second stop. So all the soft tyre runners are going to start coming in for their second stops, I guess, round about now. So there's still a few pit stops here, I'd imagine, yet to play out in this Grand Prix. Then we have Charles Leclerc as the lead Ferrari. He's got one of the other Mercedes of George Russell for company. And Ferrari really have got a really poor car this year. It's just isn't working for them. They've got a straight line speed, because we've got the same engine as them. So it's just everywhere else the car isn't really working. And then we've got Pascal Wehrlein, the lead Aston Martin, in his first race since 2018, after getting dropped by Mercedes after a pretty poor season, cost him the Constructors' Championship that year. Now he's back. He still remained as the third driver, so still part of the Mercedes family, holding up the other Ferrari of Rio Haryanto. And then you've got Sergio Perez there at the back of the grid. The Perez there is not going to want to get beaten by Pascal Wehrlein. It's someone who's not raced for a very long time in Formula 1, definitely over 2 seasons, comes back in and starting to show him up. He's actually questioning his position there within the team, so going to want to get ahead of the German before the race ends. These are both going to have DRS now on the back of Pascal Wehrlein, Haryanto and Perez on the run down into turn 1. And they're going to be close enough there to make a move on the German into turn 1. Not quite close enough there. The Ferrari was a good shot on speed, but still struggling now. All these lot on hard tyres, so they're definitely going to the end of the race. Although Perez might be set a medium, so I don't know if he's got to stop again or if he's already made his second stop. You know, I hope for his sake he's already made his second stop, otherwise he's going to be way at the back. But now with the faster tyres, he should be starting to make his way through. Now on to lap 25. We've still got Verstappen, Norris, Gasly there, all are behind us now. But on their softer tyres, they're going to be getting us well. We should be beating Gasly. We've got Alonso 6 seconds there on the road now. We've got Verstappen there with a good run off of turn 3 to turn 4. He's going to make the mistake on the outside line. He's done good saying, going to block us here at the pro check. We have to go back on the outside line. And what? Almost we're back at 60, trying aggressively there. I mean, that's going to force away through. We go. Warning there for a collision. Where you're moving around so aggressively, cutting in front of us. We know Verstappen is a very, very aggressive driver, so I wouldn't really expect anything less from him. But moving around like that, I mean, not in a break there, but moving around like that is such a high-speed circuit that is definitely something we're going to have to look at. I mean, the Verstappen rule has been brought back in. You can move in the braking zone, but moving around on a piece of track like that at 170 miles an hour is something that's got to be looked at. Now that's got a little bit frustrating. Now we've got Norris there trying to move up the inside line into the chicane. And now then through the hairpin corner on the exit. We drop down now into P4 Ring wide over the curb because these guys are going to have such fresher tyres. And now we've got Gasly though. Gasly is a car we need to be beating. We can't be getting beat by the other tyre, especially with the longer lead in the Grand Prix. We need all the points we can get now from this race. Now Gasly, he's going to have the DRS car, but we've just about managed to hold on to the DRS orbit. Now we've got Gasly coming down. He's got that 100 tyre. He's got some good speed in that car. Now we're going to go around the outside line, trying to go the long way around the outside line, trying to force our way through. But Gasly there, side by side, trying to force his way through. We've got Mick Schumacher there behind us in 6th place, also currently with the fastest lap. So the McLaren's starting to come good on race pace. So these early rounds is where they're going to have to build their points, as we've still got 10 laps of the race left to go. So still plenty of time yet for anything to really happen yet. But now through this part of the lap, Verstappen is pulled away. So we've got safety through here this time. We're going through here. Look, we're doing 160 plus miles an hour, and this is somewhere where you can't be ducking and diving around with the car in front of you or the car behind. So it's a very questionable driving from Max Verstappen, but I think he's going to get away with it. We've got one in front of the chute. I think pretty much like in the real life Belgian Grand Prix, there's a rule book, but things obviously haven't been covered yet. There's going to be a first time where things happen, so that might be the one where that happens. But now we've got 10 laps of the race still to go, getting all over the curb, getting very aggressive there over the curb under braking, because that's what you've got to do. But now looking to the back of the grid, we've still got Pascal Wehrlein leading ahead of Haryanto and Sergio Perez. But now it is going to be a change of position this time down the straight. So once again, Haryanto is going to have the DRS. And the Sergio has got good speed there on the Aston Martin to try and go in there. Something a little bit of squeeze there. Pascal Wehrlein still keeping it side by side through the corner. Now then on the corner is going to try and hold it up to the inside. But Haryanto there has the racing line, has the grip, and just about manages to clear the German on his return. So I imagine it's going to be a little bit of rust still with Pascal Wehrlein having to jump in the car last minute. Of course, when you come into a weekend as a reserve driver, you're not as focused as you know it's not going to be your car. You might get an FP1 session, but once qualifying is done, that's your weekend pretty much done. Having to jump into the car though, having to get used to the car, which is probably not driven yet this year, being only the 5th race. But now it's Pascal Wehrlein. Is he going to have team orders now to let Perez through? Because Perez is on a softer tyre. Now looking from that back up front, the back up to about now 4th, 2nd place. We've got Verstappen there in P2 still. He's got the McLaren there for Lando Norris now right up behind him. Norris there with some really good pace in that McLaren, so he got a little bit better tyre wear as well. Maybe Verstappen being a bit too aggressive, use up his tyres there a little bit too much. So all these drivers now, I'm pretty sure with only like 7 or 8 laps left to go, are going to the end of the race. So there might be a little bit marginal on tyre wear. And this race being a new circuit effectively, although the circuit has existed on F1 before, but none of the teams would have been here with any relevant machinery anyway. Norris can try and get it there around the outside line, and now into what is like a bit of a mini stadium sector. I mean, we've got all the orange in the crowd, but there's not going to be the orange there for McLaren. But the orange team are going to be loving that though. McLaren there, open 2nd place for Lando Norris, coming good now in the race. And Verstappen there dropping back massively. Has he got some sort of issue? I know he's dropped back so much time there already, so maybe Verstappen's got some sort of car issue, or his tyres just could be absolutely done. That is also a possibility. His tyres could just be absolutely finished at this point, at this very late point in the race now. Because now then, on to lap 34, we've actually caught up to the back now of Max Verstappen. And we've not just caught up to him, we've also brought Gasly along with us. He's not been able to drop the AlphaTauri throughout this Grand Prix. So Gasly once again showing some really good pace, showing a really rejuvenated attitude this season, as Alonso just casually posted the fastest lap of the Grand Prix to take that from Mick Schumacher. Could we get the podium? Could we crush the Netherlands' dreams? Now we're getting on the back here of Max Verstappen with the DRS with some good power as well, and the ERS going to get around the outside line of him. Up now into P3, going to hold it around the outside line. We actually move aggressively there back into the curbing. We're able to take the racing line and give Verstappen a little bit of payback there as we get up now into P3, and Verstappen is really dropping back, so his tyres must have hit the cliff. Does that mean all the other medium tyre runners are going to get that soon as well? So we've got Schumacher there, also on set of mediums, but Gasly now. This is going to be embarrassing there for Red Bull. If Pierre Gasly in the junior team, in a car that's worse than the Red Bull, but he's still a pretty good car, is now giving grief to the golden child of the Red Bull family. Going now 3 minutes later, there's going to be nothing here that Pierre Gasly can do, but Verstappen's lost so much time to us already. These tyres are absolutely finished. I don't know what, Red Bull must have got something not quite right there with the setup. throughout the practice session, not being able to learn about the medium tyres possibly as much. So, and of course, everyone who switched to the 2-star you think would have good tyre wear. Because he's not here for the Red Bulls. Guys, he's going to try and go around the outside line, going to try and embarrass Verstappen on his home circuit. Go around the outside line and then to the inside line. And Pierre Gasly, he makes the move stick. A fellow underpowered car, a fellow Red Bull family car. And Verstappen's got absolutely no answer. Then you go Schumacher head on the inside line through the final few corners. And going to force him out while Verstappen gets onto the curb and has no answer. And just lost 2 places there in 2 corners. His tyres are absolutely finished. But there's no point in pitting. If he pits now, he's going to be well out of the points. So he's just going to try and soldier on from now onto this final lap of the Grand Prix. And you've got a bit of movement there going on further behind. You've got Albon coming on the throw there from the Toyota of Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton there with a bit of a squirm on the inside line. Not quite able to hold it there through. So it looks like Hamilton there starting to struggle a little bit on his tyres as well. It must have been Albon making a move on Hamilton. Now and then, could Albon possibly catch his teammate before the race is out? At the lack of pace Verstappen's showing, that is entirely possible now. We still got ourselves now in a comfortable 3rd place. So you got Lando Norris there in a comfortable P2. Well, up front it's still now Fernando Alonso. He's had it pretty much all his own way, really. As he comes now there around the final few corners. Well, taking the race line there once again through the final corner, going on to the banking now. They're coming now then down to the finish line. And now then over the line. Alonso wins the Dutch Grand Prix on return. He'd never raced it competitively before, but it doesn't matter. Alonso there takes the race win. In pretty dominant fashion. You can't even see 2nd place there behind. In 2nd place it is actually going to be there. Still Lando Norris there coming through. Okay, we're going to get a podium. Somehow we managed to come through. Our pace was pretty poor this weekend compared to K-Mag. We're nowhere near him in qualifying. K-Mag had the pace. K-Mag should have won this race. But driver of the day there goes to Pierre Gasly. I don't know why no one voted for Max Verstappen. I'm sure he would have got it just for existing in this race. But Cyril Abiteboul there once again looking very, very happy. And Alonso there, you'd never known he'd been away since the end of 2018. Again, nice over there at the circuit and all those Dutch fans in the crowd. I mean, they're going to be happy that Verstappen finished the race, but they're not going to be happy that Fernando Alonso takes victory on Verstappen's home soil. And once again, you've got 3 different teams there on the podium. It's 3 different engines. Once again, this championship still is looking very, very open at this early stage, but it's looking to be Alonso and me, and maybe K-Mag as well, just bring out a little bit more. And now then, onto the podium celebrations. Alonso on the soft set podium, getting another trophy to add to his very, very big trophy cabinet. And now for the champagne, as Norris comes good there. Had a quiet race, but makes his way up into 2nd place. So that McLaren's got some very, very good race pace. And once again, they're having to back their early points now in his early races of the season. Taking a look at the end results for the first Dutch Grand Prix since 1985, Alonso takes his DP World Renault to victory lane. Nearly 11 seconds clear in the end of Lando Norris, so Alonso with a brilliantly controlled drive. Although I still feel that K-Mag was absolutely robbed today. His pace was on another level, and I still think, even with the 1-stop, he could have won this race. But instead, it's ourselves on the podium, still getting something for Alfa Romeo. 12 points for our championship as well, with Pierre Gasly, best Red Bull driver, finishing in 4th. Then Mick Schumacher finishes in P5, even manages to catch and pass Max Verstappen there in the end, who only finishes 2 tenths clear of his teammate Alex Albon. So Verstappen dropped like a stone there at the end. So whatever tyre issues he was having, they've got a lot of debriefing to do back at Red Bull before the next race. And Lewis Hamilton, I'm sure, will be quietly pleased with 8th place. It's not where Toyota, the defending Constructors Champions, of course, want to be, but finishing the weekend after the start to it he had is kind of an achievement in itself. Then you have Esteban Ocon in the other Renault coming home in 9th, with Sergio Sette running off the top 10, and Hulkenberg, you thought he'd get points this weekend and he gets 2 points for his effort, and Danica Kvyat with some very, very good defensive driving just about manages to sneak a point for Mercedes in 12th. And with Alonso's Dutch dominance, he now opens up a championship lead once again, now 27 points clear. Nearly a race win and a half points worth clear of us now, on 97 points to our 70. And now win 9 points clear of Mick Schumacher, who's still with his consistent results, still keeping himself in the title fights at this early stage, along with his McLaren teammate Lando Norris, who's still in P4 on 57 points. And despite dropping back towards him, Max Verstappen gets up into P5 on 48 points, 5 points clear of Esteban Ocon, and K-Mag with his no score remains on 41. Then come the AlphaTauri pairing joint on points, both on 34 apiece for Seti Camara and Gasly, and they both get ahead and stay ahead of Alex Albon, who's also on 34 points but by better results. That's why they're all ahead of the one that they are. Matsushita drops down into P11 with his no score, but still remains 5 points clear of his Toyota teammate Lewis Hamilton. And now then onto the constructor standings. Renault still lead the way, 24 points clear now of McLaren, who with a consistent result once again get themselves back up into second place on 116 points, 24 points off Renault. With Alfa Romeo with only us scoring drop down into P3, 5 points behind the Woking outfit. We have Red Bull, who are already starting to drop away a little bit, in 4th place on 86 points. Ahead then of their junior squad, AlphaTauri in 5th on 68. Defending Constructors champions Toyota are in 6th place with only 47 points after the opening 5 races. And in 7th place are Mercedes, who are on 30 points. Williams with those crucial 2 points get up into 8th place, getting ahead of fellow British outfit Aston Martin, who dropped down into 9th on 9 points, leaving Ferrari still only on 7 points, and a lot of head scratching to do back at Maranello and on their personal test track Fiorano as well. So let's leave a like if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new to it, so on any future videos, which would be Mondays and Fridays, sometimes on a Wednesday, and for F1 and F2 on select Saturdays as well. And also in the description will be a link to a Driver of the Day poll, so if you think Pierre Gasly deserves it, or if you think it's Alonso or Lando or myself or anyone else in this race, definitely go and vote for who you think did the best in this race. And if you're a Dutch fan, you're probably going to vote for Max anyway, so why not? Vote for Max existing. Also down in the description there will be a link to my wiki, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically fandom Wikipedia. I've edited that myself for every season that has been. Remember, this is the 8th season of this career mode series, so I've been doing it ever since the 2014 game. So yeah, it's about 80-ish pages, and I've edited it myself after each race. So collectively it's been a lot of work over the years as well, so I'd appreciate it if you can give that a read. And not yet, but soon might even possibly be a sneak peek as what's to come up in the future as well for the 2022 season. So, and down with those links will be links to my Instagram, so if you give me a follow on them as well, that'd be much appreciated. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.